Hey folks, anybody know someone maybe dumb enough to try and rebuild one of these? Anyone? Hey folks, welcome back. Well, we all know the sad state of new components for our cars nowadays, and a lot of replacement parts just aren't up to the task. And one of the big ones that we all struggle with in this hobby is getting a good fuel sending unit to tell us semi-accurately how much gas we have in our tank. The new ones on the market are made a lot differently. Yeah, they'll go in and they'll fit and they'll tell us kind of how much fuel is in there, but they're not accurate at all. I mean, the one I have in red now, it's got a half a tank when it's reading empty. I know this because I've taken the sender out and the fuel is kind of just coming out the hole where the sending unit goes into. So I know it's about a half a tank of fuel in there. It's certainly not empty. So I've got some components here. Maybe we can rebuild one, make one functional again. Let's take a look at the components and see what we can make happen. So what I got here is a couple pieces here. This is the original fuel sending unit that came out of the 65 Barracuda, out of blue. And obviously it was rusted, rotted, nothing was functioning. There wasn't even a float on it. It was gone. Nothing there. This is another original one that I had made for red. And you can see it's got an extra return on it. And I tried to weld it and I just kind of goofed it all up. So it's not really usable right now. I could probably take that out, weld a patch over it, patch it with JB Weld something, it'd be fine. But we're not sure if we're gonna use that one. What I'd like to do is get this one functioning again and have a good one on the shelf. So how does it work? Resistance. You have this this wire, it's wrapped around like a circuit board component, triangularly shaped, triangularly shaped. Spit it out, man. So it's wrapped around there like that. One end is sandwiched between this and this bracket, which goes to the stud, goes to your gauge, and the rest goes all the way up here. It's grounded through the sweep. This goes up and down when your fuel level goes up and down. It's grounded to the body of it inside there. Okay? So, when this goes, right now it's empty, it's all the way up, you have a high amount of resistance. When you're full, the wires are, shorter, so you have less resistance, and it shows your gas gauge being full. So that's how that works. So what goes wrong? Well, in some cases this falls off, like in the case of the original one on blue, or it gets corroded. And that gets all gummed up, it's corroded, and it's not making its ground in there anymore. So we got to fix that. All right, so let's just show you where we're at here on this one here. So we're reading right now 109 ohms at empty. And it's supposed to be a high of like 75 to 85. And as you sweep up to full, it should go down to about 10 or so. And we kind of top out at like 35, depending, because it's just about, you can see the sweep just coming off the windings, and you saw it just pop off there. So this is really out of spec. And the other problem with this one is also on the top, the sweep. Watch, I'm going to hold this arm straight. I'm going to move the sweep part. Yeah, it just kind of rotates all by itself. So this can be adjusted so it doesn't fall off. And there's probably some you can do here to bend the tab so the whole bottom moves over. So there's a bit of things you can do on that. So that's basically how this works and how it reads. And the varying signal is sent back to the gauge and tells you how close to full or empty you are. So what are we gonna do here? Well, let's put this one in the vise and test it. Okay, we got nothing, nada, de niente, no movement. And we are on the correct side of the windings with the sweep. We got nothing. There's a lot of corrosion here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna disassemble this and clean these things up and see what we can do about maybe getting this to function. It's the worst that can happen. Throw it out, wreck it. Doesn't work right now anyway. Okay, we can already see that this fell off of the bracket here, whereas this is one I saved from another one. This is still kind of bolted down. See, it's got a screw there. This one, it's, well, rotted off. And there's like something stuck, or there's something, you can almost see through that where there was a screw or whatever. So we're gonna see about maybe popping this out, see if we can't reattach this. And if not, well, we're going to try, we'll use this piece here, get it to go. The sweep on this, I don't know if you can tell, it's hard to see with the backdrop, it's, the tip of it is almost completely gone. So I don't know how much we're going to get this to work, but let's see what we can do here. What I ended up doing was I found a nail, like a little brad, little tiny little thing from a picture hanging kit, cut it off, put it through here, peened it over with the hammer, and this is fine. Now this other one I had done, I found a little tiny screw, and they're hard to find, a good screw unless you go to the store. I don't have any laying around, but that one worked for that. So I have two good units here now. So let's test it. Just want to test full continuity all the way through from the top of the bracket. There we go. That's good. Okay, I was able to get it all back up in there. Got the nut on, tighten that up. And one thing I want to do now is take a piece of 1000 grit paper, slide it behind here, and just kind of sand this down, clean up the contact a little bit. Okay, Let's hook up our meter, see what we got. Okay, meter works. Put that there. Ground. Oh, we got big numbers. Ooh. I got nothing. All right, here's what we got to do. Now we cleaned up the tip on the sweep, so that should be okay. But it's the other side of the sweep where it comes over and back, and it hits on the inside of this metal piece here. That's where it gets its ground to give you the resistance reading all the way back. This is corroded. We need to fix that. We might have to bend this and take the whole sweep rod out. See what we got to do there. We're going to have to go a little more drastic, take this completely apart. Not getting enough cleansing here that I'd like, so I have to kind of bend this all the way around, see about how this comes off, and can we get some continuity here. So I'm going to have to bend this out more like I just did. See if I can't really get in here and clean this up, because I'm not really getting any continuity from ground to the tab of the sweep. I mean, there's a lot of corrosion in here, but it's intact. Let's see what we can do. We can get this piece off the sweep and see if we can't get it cleaned up better. Like I said, what's the worst we can do? We wreck it? Okay, you can see that. We got it all together. We got it cleaned up. I couldn't take it all the way apart and pull the rod all the way out because it is swedged in there. You know, the sweep is really pressed in and put in place. Not like this one that's kind of moving. So I didn't want to mess with that. So you can see we've got continuity and we're almost within our readings. Now I can adjust these tabs up and down to put it where we need it. Now the one thing I need to fix is, if I can get in here and show you. All right, take a look at the sweep. There was supposed to be a hole in there, and it was supposed to be, you know, a circle, but you can tell that, you know, it was corroded and the end is missing completely. So what I'm going to try and do is trim that back somehow so it sweeps nicely and it won't like drag and cut and, you know, hopefully not tear the other wires on that. All right, I got the tip of the sweep tweaked just a little bit. Got everything kind of positioned around. Contacts are clean, and we've got nice, easy sweep. and it drops nice and easy. It's not catching on the resistance wires. That's working great. And we're within specs. We're at 73.9. Coming down. Should be 10. Let's see, I'm hitting the max here. Let me bend this up a little bit. Let this float come up a little more. Closer. Let's see if we go a little more. Get down to 20. 25. It's probably as good as it's going to get. As you can see, we're already at the bottom of the resistance wiring. So, I'd say we rebuilt this. Let me do a few more things, clean this up, bend the tabs where they got to go, and we got a new rebuilt sending unit that works. Yeah, and don't forget to check your floats. Just hold them underwater for a little bit. Make sure you got no bubbles coming up. It'd be a shame to put it back in the gas tank and have it fill with fuel and sink to the bottom and not do anything for you. And there you have it. Fully functional, fully repaired sending unit for your fuel system. Now, if you know me, yeah, I polished this up a little bit with some Brasso, and while I was doing, I could feel how thin this was, and when I popped it on, I felt it go, and you can see there's a crack right there. So yeah, I stuck it in the water, make sure it was actually leaking, popped it off, and I put the other one I had on the other sending unit over there back on. Pulled what was left of the sock off because it was useless, and the one that's on here is starting to crumble, so I didn't even pull it off. No reason to. This will be fine. That's why we run fuel filters, right, people? And give it a nice cleanup. Yes, I left the undercoating on here. Why? That's the original sending unit out of blue. 1965 Formula S Barracuda. That's the original sending unit. That's why I like to try and fix some of these parts. They're the original from the car. They're only original once, right? So, yeah, I have a newer model, newer version of the sending unit in there right now because I needed something to tell me where I was at with the fuel. But that one's going back in. I mean, what was the worst that could happen? I wreck it? No, I fixed it. You can too. It's not that hard. Just, you saw what I did. Take a little time, take it apart. And if you can't fix it, you can't fix it. Then that's when you buy a new part. But I'm telling you, a lot of the components in these cars can be disassembled, cleaned up, put back into service without, you know, a lot of hassle. So there you have it. Simple one. Yeah, I'm the idiot who tried to fix it, and I did. Hey folks, smash the like button. If you like what we're doing here on the channel, please consider subscribing. I appreciate you all, and I'll catch you next time.